Hello, everybody. It is coming up to Germany time very, very, very quickly, right? It's Easter, and it's a couple days before Easter, and we are going to be flying out on May 14th. Okay. So things are coming up really, really quickly. So I put together this little video, and we're going to discuss a few things. First thing I want to discuss is scholarship application. Okay, if your scholarship application isn't complete, please do it. Okay, it needs to get done. Um, for those of you who will qualify, which is for primarily purposes, the biggest hurdle is the 2.5 GPA. If you have a TMOOC GPA of 2.5 and Nicolette Daki has informed you that you would qualify if you had applied, you still need to have an application on file. Okay, it's a formality, but the university cannot give you a scholarship and award you a scholarship that you have not formally finished applying for. Okay, so get that in the next day. In the next day. I think she needs it by Friday. Additionally, contact your references to make sure that they sent in their reference form so that we have a complete uh, application. If your references had a difficulty in doing a digital signing or uploading it, which has happened for at least one of you, please have them uh, email me a picture or a file of their document that has been completed and signed, and you can have them send it to my work email address is Hans, H-A-N-S Schumann at tamook.edu, and I will make sure that the scholarship committee sees that and that it was in on time. So, scholarship, guys, get it done. Okay, the scholarship this year is going to be multiple times higher than normal, maybe 3 times more. It is possible that the scholarships could be in the $2,600 range, or maybe even a little tad higher. Okay, or maybe a little tad lower. It will depend on how many scholarship applications come not just from our program, but from the program uh, that Dr. Goswami is sending folks to South Africa with. We are the only 2 study abroad programs, and so the entire university scholarship amount of money is going to be divided up amongst our 2 programs. So that's a good thing this year. Okay. COVID. We live in the world of COVID. So I had sent everybody last over the last few days um, texts verifying that you are COVID okay to go. Germany, the country of Germany, requires 2 COVID shots to get in, 2 COVID vaccine shots. Right. So even for those of you who had the Johnson and Johnson, you need a second shot. Now, since then, I got a note from Lufana University, our partner university, who has indicated that their university is requiring 3 shots, 2 shots plus a booster. So for those of you who thought you were okay uh, because you had, 2 shots and you were fully immunized, for the university to have you on campus and for the university to uh, allow you to live off campus with their students, they want to see 3 shots. So for those of you who had 2 shots plus a booster, you're good. For those of you who had 2 shots, go get a booster. Um, not to get in the country, but to eliminate something like that. For those of you who only had the Johnson and Johnson shot, okay, I should have communicated, and I think I've communicated with all of you before, okay, in the last day or two. But if for some reason you didn't get the message, here is the message. You got to get your second shot immediately so you have time to take the third shot, okay, before you go, right? So my strong recommendation is for those of you, get the Pfizer shot. A few days ago, Walgreens had them in Kingsville. You could, on a walk-in basis, you could go get your Pfizer shot, and then 21 days later, you're eligible to get your additional shot, which would be the third, right? And you're actually, according to the CDC, you were able to move that up plus or minus 4 days in one way or the other. So essentially, we would have the third shot, and that third shot would have a time to be effective before we get there, okay? Or within 1 day or two, and I think we will be good with that, okay? Again, that is the university, not the country of Germany's requirement. And I wish I had known that a little bit earlier, but that's where we're at. There is a possibility if somebody just physically runs out of time, the workaround solution may be that they can still be on campus, but they need to be tested daily. But that is a big pain in the butt, and we'd rather not go there. Okay, now, next thing. We told our university president that we would bring at-home test kits with us. Okay, so right now the US government is giving these away for free. All you have to do is go on the internet, Google free at-home COVID test, and there's a page that literally all you have to do is put your address on it, your name and your address, and hit enter. And I got my set 14 days later, sent by a U.S. Post Office in my mailbox. All right, let's all do that. They're free test kits. We may just ask everybody to take a self-test the day before, just to make sure that nobody is getting on board the plane that has COVID that doesn't know they have COVID, because it'd be a lot easier not to find that out when we're in Europe, right? So, anyways, on COVID stuff, go get your third shot. For those of you who have two, for those of you who have only one, go get your second shot immediately. And if you make it a Pfizer, it makes life a lot easier. I think Moderna requires 28 days instead of 21, and Johnson & Johnson even more than that. So go get a shot immediately and get a Pfizer shot so that you can take your last vaccine before we leave. All right. Okay. Who's going? Well, from Tamuk, I expect that there's going to be 11 of us plus me. And my wife is going to come visit us for a week. So, for Tamuk, there's going to be 12 of us plus my wife for half of the time. She wants to go see Berlin with us. All right. From UT Rio Grande Valley, they are going to be bringing either 7 or 8 students is their last count. Anyways, so we're doing that. So where is Lunenburg? Well, let me go get a pull up a map pretty quickly. But while I'm pulling that up, Lunenburg is just south of Hamburg. Hamburg is in the northern part of Germany. Okay. Here, map. Okay.
So what I've got right here is a map of Europe. Germany is this orange country right over here. It borders the Netherlands, it borders Belgium, borders France on the west. On the north, it borders Denmark. On the east, it borders Poland, and Austria is this, I think that's Hungary, right? Inside of Germany, Hamburg is right about there, okay, in the northern part. And Lunenburg is about 35, 40 minutes south of Hamburg. So, it's a old city,
Okay. But there are people who treat it as a bedroom community that work in the big city of Hamburg, and they commute every day. Uh, just like people who live in Long Island and work in New York City commute every day, right? So I wouldn't call it a suburb, but it is uh, commutable distances, right? So Lunenburg itself is a beautiful city, right? And for those of you who have been in my office, you've seen pictures of it. Uh, for parents who may be watching this, you could, Google Lunenburg, Germany. It is a medieval city that has survived. It's one of the very few that survived World War II with very little damage. The reason that it was very little damage is this grand city was built in the Middle Ages uh, because of the wealth they had. And the wealth came from the salt mine that is right underneath Lunenburg. Fast forward to World War II, salt really wasn't that is strategically important. And so when the Allied bombers bombed military targets, bombing an old city that is on top of a salt mine um, didn't make very much sense, right? So it is one of the few really, really beautiful cities in Germany that did not get 80% destroyed by World War II. So we're lucky we're going to be able to go into that city. Okay. It is a very safe city. It is a walkable city. Every time I've been there, I have walked everywhere I wanted to go. Okay. Uh, my cardiologist will be very happy to know I'm going back to okay. uh, because you'll get your exercises walking. Depending on uh, where you are staying and where your home guest uh, house is. Uh, First of all, for those of you that I didn't already tell you, chances are that the German home stay that you are going to be in is almost always a college student that is at Leuphana University that lives off campus. Some of those folks live very close to campus, and it is barely a stroll that will uh, get you there. Some live as far away as you possibly could. There is a good bus system. If you are in that situation where you are way on the other side of town, we will buy you a local bus pass. Okay? But for the vast, vast majority of you, you will be within walking distances. And some of your hosts may be able to lend you a bicycle. Okay? Be very careful driving bicycles. Be even more careful walking on sidewalks and walking accidentally into bike lanes. They take their bike lanes seriously. And of all the things that could possibly happen to you, getting hit by a bicycle is the highest on that list, right? Crime is, we've never had a problem in Lunenburg in terms of crime in all the years that we've done it. It is a safe city. It is, as I said, a beautiful city. Everything is walking distance and so on and so forth. Well, what is the weather? The weather is typically in May. Expect highs between 65 and 75 degrees. We may have a couple of days that are over 80. Those are, when that happens, people will complain about how hot things really are. Okay? The lows tend to be between 50 and 50. Okay? Does it rain? Yes. On a typical May day, the chance of rain is 33%. 1 out of 3 days it rains. Okay? It doesn't necessarily rain the whole day, but it could. So one of the things when you are packing, make sure you bring some stuff along for what to wear in case it is raining, such as maybe a raincoat, a poncho, or something like that, and an umbrella. Okay, what else to pack? Well, you're packing for 14 days, right? We leave on Saturday. We will fly overnight, and then we will get there Sunday morning. Chances are we are going to fly into Frankfurt and take the train, and then you'll have 14 nights there. Well, you will arrive on a Sunday, and we will leave on Sunday the 29th to come home. Okay, so pack for those days. What to make sure you absolutely pack. Absolutely do not forget your prescription medicines. Please don't bring non-prescription medicines. All right. Close for 14 days. Raincoats, ponchos, or something like that, umbrella, toiletries. Okay. What not to pack? Okay. What to pack? Oh, let's add on to that just a little bit of variety, daytime stuff. Generally, Germans are very, very they're they're very casual, right? So the same type of stuff that we would wear. What I'm wearing right now is going to be absolutely acceptable, and so on and so forth. Okay. Do you want to pack something a little nicer for a day or two? Well, maybe. Okay. In the past, and I don't know what's going to happen this year because we live in a world of COVID, but in Berlin, when we take our trip to Berlin, we have the students have oftentimes gone to local nightclubs in the evenings. All right. And I don't know what current club, what people wear to go and have a good night, a good time in the evening. But if you want to bring something a little nicer for that, that'd be fine. But for day-to-day class stuff, casual, business casual is going to be perfectly fine. All right. What not to bring? Do not bring hair dryers or hair curlers. And the reason for that is German houses are wired for 220 volts. American houses are for 110, with the exception that the lines that go to your electric oven is probably 220. The line that goes into your electric dryer is 220. And if you have an electric water heater, chances are that one is wired for 220, right? So in the United States, all of our regular plugs you have in the house are in 110 voltage. If you plug a hair dryer into a German plug, into a German 220 volt outlet, you're going to have a fire on your hands. Don't break them. Okay. Now, how about things that I have to bring, like electronics, your phone charger and stuff like that? The good news is electronics over the last, for at least 25 years, have been built for selling around the world. So when you look at the plugs, the cords, and you read them, you will see that in almost every scenario, it says 110 volt slash 220 or somewhere in that range. And what that basically means is that these things have been designed to be plugged in anywhere around the world. So you're okay. Now, your plug won't physically um, plug into the wall because German outlets tend to have round things to plug in, and our American ones have flat edges. So I'm going to bring a whole bunch of these with. These are converters. Important, it does not convert the electricity. It just converts, it's a piece of plastic, and it takes these two wires and makes the other two wires on the other side touch each other. So different shaped plugs will work, but they don't change the voltage. Electronics, 90% of what we need are here, but hair dryers are never, those things are not designed, they're designed to be sold in the US and so on and so forth, right? So if you have an electronic device that you absolutely need to take, okay, and in my case, a device I take is occasionally I suffer from asthma and I have a nebulizer, okay, a medical piece of equipment. And I can't guarantee whether that one will or will not was designed for 220 or 110. I'm assuming it was designed for the American 110 market, okay? What exists out there, and I will bring this along for myself, I probably won't need it, but you can buy a converter that's quite a bit bigger than the little plug, right? But this one converts the 220 down to 110, so it makes it safe to put in my nebulizer and plug that in. Okay, just an issue. If you've got a device like that, we're going to need to get you one of these things. Okay, these are like $1 or $2. These can range to be like 30 or 40. Okay, so anyways, that's what not to pack. Other thing not to pack. Don't pack stuff that if you need to wash it will take forever to dry. The reason is the German typical apartments will have washing machines, right? Clothes washing machines, but what they won't typically have are dryers. The tradition in Germany is that you dry on a clothesline outside or on your porch or something like that. So if you've got clothes that you're going to need to wash, chances are very, very high that your flatmate will be able to let you use their washing machine, but they probably don't have a dryer. Okay, it's one of those things you've got to understand culturally. Energy is extremely, extremely expensive in Europe and has been. For instance, price of gas tends to be 3 times what it is here in the United States. So we thought we were in bad shape when we had to pay $4 a gallon in gasoline, and we're still close to that here. In Europe, it's going to be closer to $10 to $12 a gallon, right? So the Europeans are very, very, very frugal when it comes to using energy, and the dryer is one of the reasons why. Why they don't have that many. Also, German apartments tend to be relatively small. and it saves space. Okay. All right. Other things, money. When you are there, you are going to be buying things in euros. The local currency throughout a good chunk of Central Europe is the euro. It is worth about €1 is worth about $1.10. Okay, so roughly, if you see something for sale for €10, the American equivalent is you're paying about $11 for it, right? $1 is worth about 90 euro cents. So it's about 10% more. Okay, but excuse me, by converting the money. All right, the best way, honestly, the best way of turning US dollars into euros is using local ATMs. Okay, if you plug in your ATM, your ATM will work in most ATMs in Germany. Okay, there are a few that are on, a network that really isn't interconnected to the Visa or MasterCard debit card networks. But the best way to do that is get money from an ATM. Okay, if you want to have some American money to convert into German money when you land there, just to be on the safe side, you want to bring $100 bill or so and want to convert it to euros, well, we can stop at, when we land, at a money changing kiosk, and where you can change US dollars for euros. You can do it at a local bank here. Chances are American banks charge a lot of money because this is not something we typically do, right? If you live down in the Rio Grande Valley, I don't know whether the money changers there change money into and out of euros. I doubt it. I think that's all pesos versus US dollars, all right? Okay, but we'll deal with that. What do you need money for? What you will need money for are some dinners. Okay, I will try to take our budget, and whatever money I can, I'm going to use it to reimburse for dinners for us. Okay, theoretically, what we promise is that that the university will pick up the lunch expenses on an everyday basis, and usually you have breakfast with your host family, so that's covered. Okay, dinners are theoretically not covered, at least not fully, right? But when we get there and I look at the budget, I'm not coming back with any money, right? So we were going to use whatever leftover money I have in my budget, and we will pay for as many dinners as we can. I can't guarantee that we will pay for them all. As a matter of fact, we probably won't have the money to pay for them all, but we will pay for as many as I can, right? So you need money for dinners. You will need money for entertainment. You will need money if for some reason you buy alcoholic beverages, even at lunchtime, because I cannot put a reimbursement in to the university for alcohol. I will lose my job. Okay, so alcohol. Yeah, by the way, don't try to outdrink Germans. You're going to lose. All right. All right. Gifts and stuff. Some of you guys are going to want to buy some stuff to bring home. for your mom, dad, sisters, aunts, and so on and so forth. Obviously, you're going to need to pay for that on your own. Okay, credit cards. Many stores will take credit cards. Okay, many won't. So, this is where you kind of need the cash, right? Also, if you have a credit card that you are used to having a signature on, you may want to call your credit card company up and ask them if there's a PIN number that corresponds to that card, because the European MasterCards and Visas almost all require you to put in a PIN, just like our debit cards do. Most banks will have the same thing on their credit cards, right? So when you put in your PIN, it is like your signature. Okay. Check with your bank in terms of what the fees are. Okay. Again, there's going to be fees, foreign transaction fees. If you're doing an out-of-network ATM, there's going to be fees for that. But despite all the fees, my experience is you're still going to get, this is going to still be cheaper than changing money, at a bank. Most banks in Lunenburg do not change US dollars into euros. So ATM is really the way to go there. Okay. Best international credit card or debit card. All right. This is an advertisement and I don't get paid for it, but it's an advertisement anyway. If you believe that this is going to be a habit of yours, that you are going to go internationally frequently, I strongly recommend you get a bank checking account with Charles Schwab Bank. Okay. You're going to have to open it online, but their ATM card, okay, will reimburse you for ATM charges, bank ATM charges anywhere in the world. They will have no foreign exchange transaction fees anywhere in the world. Okay, it is by far the best debit card if you are traveling around the world, traveling internationally. For those of you who live in the Rio Grande Valley and oftentimes may go to Mexico, this might be a great card for you too, right? Because Mexico is international, right? Okay. Realistically, probably for a 2-week trip, it's not worth changing your banking relationships over, right? But if you kind of are thinking that this is going to be the start of a traveling tradition for you, this is something to consider, Charles Schwab. Right? All right. Other than that, check with your banks and your credit card companies about fees, foreign transaction fees, so you're not surprised. All right. You're probably not going to go broke with them, but it's, they're going to charge you on that. Okay. Now, call your credit card companies and your bank debit card companies up and tell them you are going to be out of the country. That way, they won't immediately assume fraud when they see a charge from Frankfurt, Germany on your account. Say, wait a minute, this person lives in Texas. Call them and tell them that you're going to be traveling, and they'll put a note on your account so that they will not decline your charges when you are abroad. Okay. All right. That's money. Phone. Most phones probably will work fine in Germany. This is one, again, call your supplier up and say, I am going to be in Germany. Okay. What does my plan pay for? What doesn't it pay for? Okay. Will I get, when I'm in Germany, will, first of all, the phone work? Will my phone have uh, free calls? Probably not, but I don't know. Uh, can I get um, free data? That's more frequently that they'll give you data. Anyways, call your cell phone company up and figure out what the deal is. There are just so many different companies out there, and there are so many different plans. I don't know the answer, right? So what you want to do is call the 800 number associated with your phone network, and they'll walk you through what will work and what won't work and what you have to pay for, and so on and so forth. Um, Worst case scenario, you can get a local SIM card to replace your SIM card so that over the 2 weeks you have a working German phone. Okay, we can kind of deal with that if need be. Most people are okay with what their American plan deals with. And a lot of people will actually have T-Mobile, which is a German company, but even they got an American plan with the German company, so I don't know how that really works. Okay. Next thing, dinner, pre-departure dinner or lunch. Um, every time we take this trip, or the last times we've taken the trip, I found it useful to invite you and your parents or your family or whoever you want to invite uh, to come, and we will go to a German restaurant. You know, either we will go for dinner, uh, or we will go for an afternoon lunch uh, on a Saturday. So, uh, keep. I'll inform you as to when that is going to be. But this is an opportunity for you to have any questions before we leave, and for your parents who want more information, want to get a warm and fuzzy feeling about how their precious children, that's you, are going to be doing in Germany. Okay, so we're going to set that up, and the two restaurants that we might take you to is, my favorite is the Berliner Bear, and that's in Beeville. And the other one is JB's Bakery, which is more casual, which would be more lunch type thing in Corpus Christi. So we'll figure out that. If you've got a strong preference, one or the other, let me know. Again, I hope this has been useful for you. And I just wanted to go back and highlight the two things I started with. Scholarships. Get your scholarship applications completely in, and make sure that your references have submitted their reference letters, right? References don't have to be great. Your 250-word essay does not have to be great, right? It just has to be in, right? We just have to have a formal application for the scholarship so that you can be given the scholarship. We can't give a scholarship out to somebody who hasn't completed an application for it. It's that simple. It's a formality, but it's a formality that needs to be done. Other thing was COVID, right? If you only have 2 shots, find a good time to take a 3rd shot. With tomorrow being off, that might be a good day, right, to go get a 3rd shot, right? If you only had the 1 shot, ASAP, get it done. For the rest of you, you got until probably April 29th to do it. If you are in the situation you had the Johnson & Johnson shot and that's the only one you had, get one now right? So that, and get a Pfizer shot. Walgreens has them in Kingsville, because if you, then you can get your second shot 21 days uh, later, so we can get the third shot. Okay, so I know nobody likes getting COVID shots, but it's, trust me, it will also be really, really good knowing that your vaccinations are really up to date, okay, and not waning down the pike, because we don't want to get COVID in Germany. And get a test at home kit. Order those now. They come in 2 weeks. They're free from the government, right? Just, it literally is putting in your address and hitting send, and it shows up by the post office. I got mine in less than 2 weeks. So go put your order in on that, so that we have those to take with us. The university has a health center that will do COVID testing for free. But we may also need to do a COVID test to get back into the United States, and we will deal with that. We'll figure out what that formality is, and it may actually not. End of April, they were thinking of changing and eliminating that as a requirement to get back in the United States. But when I went into Jamaica, we had to get a COVID test the day before we got on the airplane so that we could be entered, get back into the United States. So we will deal with that in Germany if need be. And I'm assuming we probably could get that done at the university, or there are other testing opportunities. Thanks. Anyway, I hope you found this video to be useful. Thank you very much. Oh, by the way, if anybody's got any questions, or any parents have any questions, call me. My cell phone number is 361-455-8005. 361-455-8005. Call me. I'd be happy to talk with you about any questions you might have about the upcoming trip, or any questions that one of your family members might have. Okay, bye-bye.